So the directions on this one are to solve for x, and there's an inequality in here. So you do just pretty much treat it like an equation like this is an equal sign. The only thing that you have to worry about is if you multiply or divide by a negative, you do have to switch the inequality and make it face the other direction. So if we go ahead and get started, first thing you have to make sure of is not to do this 5 minus 3 and getting 2. That would not be order of operations. Order of operations says before you do subtracting, you have to multiply. So you would do this like distributive property right here, multiply the negative 3 times this parentheses. So that's actually our first step. So we get negative 6x, and then negative times negative makes positive 24. Drop down your greater than sign. Then on the left-hand side, there's a positive 5 and a positive 24. They're both on the same side, so we're just combining them together. So I'm just going to drop the negative 6x. 5 plus 24 makes 29. Drop down my greater than, negative 13. Now, I have x's on the left and numbers on both sides. So I'm going to move my 29 so that I have all the numbers on the right since the x's are on the left. So I'm doing the inverse operation of adding 29, which would be subtracting 29. That way it cancels. So I just have negative 6. And then on the right-hand side, I had a negative number and I'm subtracting 29 or adding like a negative 29. So either way, the signs are the same. So I'm going to keep the sign negative and just get a total right here. So if I get a total, that would be 42. So then now I'm dividing both sides by negative 6. That's my last step. The inverse operation of multiplying by negative 6 would be dividing. So I have to divide the other side by negative 6. I get x on the left. Negative divided by a negative would cancel and it'd be positive. 42 divided by 6 is 7. Then the only thing I need to still worry about is if this was an equal sign, it would just drop down equal the whole time. Since it's a greater than sign, it stays greater the whole time, except for right here, if I divide by a negative, then it switches to a less than sign. So my answer ends up being x is less than 7. So it switches direction because when you divide by a negative, you change which side of the inequality is bigger. So since you're changing the sign on both sides, your greater than becomes a less than.